All righty.
Sorry, I just have to hit this one.
Okay, sorry.
I didn't want to rush. Okay, now it's going.
Very good. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming and joining us on this rainy day. It is 1:06 on May 5th, and this meeting will be streamed live on the UBC channel, Rio Blanco County channel of YouTube. I would like to do the Pledge of Allegiance here. Get us started. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right.
Vicky.
Sure.
Please.
We've got you on camera. All righty. So, let's see. So we do have a couple of different opportunities for public comment today. And I first want to check to see who's online with us before I get into that. So Jennifer, are you online and able to hear us?
Yes, thank you. I'm here and I can hear everybody. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anyone else online? Is that you, Vicky? Okay.
Somebody else is doing
Oh, it sounds like it's Chrissy. Okay. All righty. So, for public comment, we'll do general public comment here as we get started. If anybody has any just general comments on agenda items, other than we do have public hearing items, one being the supplemental budget appropriations, and we will have comments on that at that time. And we have the second opportunity for public hearing on placing term limits for elected officials on the November ballot. We'll have public comment at that time specifically for that, and I'll call for those whenever. So whichever one of them that you are here for, just holler when you're ready. So, sorry, general public comment.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
come on up, ma'am.
Yeah.
And so if you would just note your name, come on up, you can have a seat there.
Okay.
Note your name and who you are with, and we will give you 3 minutes for comment, please.
All right. Vicky told me to talk fast.
Okay.
Mary Cunningham, I'm with the Meeker Classic Sheepdog Trials, and I apologize. I hadn't caught up to your change in scheduled meetings, so we will be on the agenda for your next meeting, but I won't be here, so I wanted to give a little public comment about the Meeker Classic this year. We're going to ask for use of the shuttle that we used last year from the Pioneers Hospital, and we're retraining people, and we're hoping we can do that. It worked out really well, and this year is going to be our 40th year of the Sheepdog Trials, and we're partnering with the Colorado tourism people for the 150, 250, and oddly enough, Friday of the Sheepdog Trials is the 25th anniversary of 9/11. Also, so we've got some fun things going on during the trial, and just a few facts from last year with our live feed. We had 32,000 unique hits on our live broadcast last year. So we're reaching out. We're going to do that again this year, and it would be very much appreciated if we could borrow the shuttle. And I will have all the information and propaganda to Vicky next. And that's all. I did it under 3 minutes.
Oh, you did it very, yeah.
So do you guys have any questions?
Nope.
Okay.
Thank you very much. We will see you then next meeting in Rangeley then.
It'll be the 19th.
Okay,
Jen won't be
but she'll be
available.
online
I'll just-
anyway.
Can I be online?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Love to have you.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thanks, ma'am.
All righty. Anybody else for general public comment? And I might, while I'm thinking about it, anybody that's here, if you would please sign in if you haven't already. So very good. Thank you. All righty. So moving on, I think we are ready to look at our agenda. Are there changes to the agenda that need to be made?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to move the purchase of 2 3/4 ton trucks to business item number 4, because we haven't seen any information on that before this meeting.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you. Have a motion and a second to move the consent item number 3, purchase of 2 trucks, to business number 4. Any other thoughts or ideas? If you would please call the roll, Sean?
Scritchfield.
Aye.
Overton.
Aye.
O'Hare.
Aye.
Thank you. Now I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Madam Chair, I would make a motion to approve the agenda with the changes for May 5th, 2026.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. A motion and a second to approve the May 5th agenda as noted. Would you please call the roll?
Overton.
Aye.
O'Hare.
Aye.
Scritchfield.
Aye. All righty. Moving on to the consent agenda. Would entertain a motion there.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the below listed items of the consent agenda. Meeting minutes of April 28th, 2026, and the liquor license for Corner Market 62 LLC in Meeker, Colorado.
I second.
Thank you. Have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Would you please call the roll, Sean?
O'Hare.
Aye.
Scritchfield.
Aye.
Overton.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you all. Moving on to our public hearings. The
Madam-
first of our public hearings.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we open the public hearing on supplemental budget appropriations.
I second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to open the hearing on the supplemental budget. Could we have roll call, please?
O'Hare.
Aye.
Scritchfield.
Aye.
Overton.
Aye.
Okay, Lisa, I think we get to hear from you on our supplemental budget.
Okay, this supplemental budget is for 2 different items. The first is $15,000 for the treasurer's department. I think they spoke a couple months ago in a meeting about getting some new software, and that $15,000 is for that new software. The second is for the capital improvement plan fund, and it's for the FAA projects, the GA ramp project. And it's $426,489, and it will be covered by FAA grant proceeds that are also carrying forward.
Good. Any questions? Jennifer?
I do not.
Do we have any public comment on this item? I don't see any in the room. Is anybody online? Okay, I don't see any public comment. So I would entertain a motion to close the hearing for the supplemental budget appropriations.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to close the public hearing on supplemental budget appropriations.
I second.
Thank you. Have a motion and a second to close the hearing. Would you please call the roll?
Overton.
Aye.
Scritchfield.
Aye.
O'Hare.
Aye.
Okay, now we could entertain a motion for a resolution if that is your wish.
Madam Chair,
The bottom of that page,
uh,
back on the front. There you go.
okay. Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve resolution number 2026-15, a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Rio Blanco County Colorado appropriating additional sums of money to defray expenses in excess of amounts budgeted in the various funds and spending agencies in the amounts and the purposes as set forth below for the 2026 budget year pursuant to section 29-1-109 CRS.
I second.
Thank you. A motion and a second to approve the resolution. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, if you would call the roll, please.
Richfield?
Aye.
Overton?
Aye.
O'Hare?
Aye.
I think I said aye there. I'm not sure. Okay. We will move into our second public hearing.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we open the public hearings regarding placing term limits for elected officials on the November ballot.
I second.
Thank you. A motion and a second to open the hearing regarding placing the term limits for elected officials on the November ballot. If you'd please call the roll.
Overton?
Aye.
O'Hare?
Aye.
Richfield?
All righty. So what we are considering is placing the offices that currently have term limits on them, looking at placing that on the ballot for this fall for the public to determine if they want to keep those term limits. So I would certainly entertain public comments at this time. So if you want to come one by one, and if you want to come on up and have a seat, tell us your name and who you represent, and we'd love to hear from you.
I'm Christine Hicken. I represent me and probably all the election judges. I'm here to support the ballot initiative to end term limits for RBC's clerk, treasurer, and assessor. I will speak directly about the clerk, but the situation also applies to the treasurer and the assessor. These elected officials are an integral part of the running of their offices. The clerk has the added responsibility of overseeing elections. I've been an election judge for 30 years and have served in every position. 6 years ago, when Sean took office, she had never received any training. Somehow she managed to pull off the election of 2020. The first 2 years were stressful and confusing. Now, after 6 years, Sean and Shawnee have streamlined the process down to great efficiency. You might think a newly elected clerk could simply follow the procedures set out. This has not been my experience working for the government. Inevitably, they will want to try something new, not realizing elections have very, very set procedures, both regulatory and by law. There's also the very serious point of finding someone who is qualified for these positions. As we all know, it is difficult to find experienced people, and I personally believe people should be qualified for the job they are taking on, elected or otherwise. And bottom line, I will always believe and hope that voters are the best term limit determiners.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's been lovely. I hope this was through.
Thank you. Any other?
Thank you all. very
You bet.
much.
Any other public comment on this topic? All righty. So seeing none, we will close the public comment period of this hearing and opened up for discussion for the commissioners. And Jennifer, if you're online, would you like to provide any comment?
No, I guess just to add, and I said this at the last public hearing in Rangeley, it's the will of the voters, and they're the ones that will determine if if term limits are ended. So thank you.
Thank you. Doug, any thoughts?
Yes, I believe that term limits in Rio Blanco County don't serve the people. We have a hard time getting people in these positions that are qualified and that are able to run. We have a lot of young people that are qualified and want to do their part, but they're afraid to do that because at the end of 8 years, they're out of a career. And I think that we need to remove that obstacle so that we can get more applicants to apply for these jobs. And that's it.
Okay. Thank you. And I would just concur. I think it's an opportunity to go back to the public and just ask which way they would like to have it. And so hopefully we can get some younger folks that will come into these folks, period, that will come into some of the elected positions. So anything else, commissioners? If not, I would entertain a motion to close the hearing on the placing the term limits for elected officials.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to close the public hearing regarding placing term limits for elected officials on the November ballot.
I second.
Thank you. Have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Would you please call the roll?
Overton,
Aye.
O'Haron.
Aye.
Okay, so for those in the public, if the commissioners decide to proceed with that, we will do, I think it's a resolution that we will do in the future. So a future meeting, I guess I would say. Okay. All right, moving on to business. Lisa, would you mind going over our financial review?
Okay. So I provided budget actual schedules for you through March 31st, 2026, and a brief memo that describes kind of the results for each of the county's major funds. Some of the real small minor funds aren't included on that schedule, so if you have questions, you should feel free to ask anytime. A quarter of the way through the year, you should be pacing on your operating expenditures for about 25%. And all of the funds seem to have between 20 and 25% of their operating expenses at this point, which is good. Revenues will fall a little bit behind just because of the timing of when tax revenues come. So things like use tax, the highway users tax, sales taxes, those always lag a month or two behind. So most of the funds are showing tax revenues at about 16%. Which is also good. Property taxes at this point are about 35% of what was budgeted, and that's also reasonable based on what's been collected in prior years and how the property tax collections work for the county. If we look at those schedules, you'll see that I've tried to break out operating expenses from things like capital outlay and central services costs and fleet, just because you want to really keep your eye on those operating expenditures and make sure that they're in line with where you expect them to be in the budget. They should be pretty regular throughout the year. And if those vary a great deal, then you really want to look into those and find out why that's happening. There are some key differences in operating expenses. For example, in the communications fund, purchase services are outpacing budget when you look at that fund, but that's because of the timing of when they pay for some of their services. So if they have subscriptions that they're paying early in the year, they'll use up that budget right away. But when you look at wages and benefits, they're at 24% of budget. So everything's tracking correctly. The solid waste landfills the same way. When you look at the revenues, they're about 6% of budgeted revenues, which seems alarming when you look at it a quarter of the way through the year. But most of those revenues come in during the summer months. You get those really big, collections from the oil and gas companies. And then their operating expenses are about 19% of budget, which also seems reasonable since their costs probably also increase during the warmer months. Once again, their personnel expenses are at about 25%. One thing that will vary a great deal are the grant revenues and the capital outlay, and that's also dependent on when projects happen throughout the year. So those will vary quite a bit. And we try to keep on top of that to make sure that we're collecting money on grants as the expenditures are made and that everything matches. But other than that, it can vary a lot throughout the year. Did anybody have any specific questions?
I don't. I'd be,
Jennifer, do you have any questions?
No, I just want to say thank you, Lisa, for providing these updates. It's very helpful, I know, for myself to keep updated on this. So just thank you for putting it together and doing such a great job.
Yes. And I really appreciate keeping those operating expenses separate from the others because I struggle with those, some of those others at times. So operating pieces that we know and the directors are doing a good job. So thank you. Yes, ma'am.
May I ask you, Vicki? Just a real quick note about, we did receive our SRS allocation. So I didn't know if you wanted to mention that. So,
Yes, thank you for doing that.
and it's a
It was 490,
95,
490 something, I
or
thought.
90 something, or something.
Yeah.
So we will try to get that ready for your budget. That's the SRS allocation. So a part of that will go to Rangeley School District, Meeker School District, and Route District School District if they have students. So we will get that on your next agenda. And then Road and Bridge gets part of that.
And that's the money that we don't spend this year. We hold that over and put it in towards the budget next year, right?
It's not in the budget. If you needed it, you could do supplemental appropriation and use that money for other expenses.
But because we never know what we'll get, if we'll get, we hold off on saying whether we'll use it or not. So, excellent. Thank you very much. And this is just one of those things that we did put in our strategic plan, that we would have these updates, and we just really, really do appreciate it. So, thanks.
you're okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else from either commissioner?
I have nothing.
All righty. Then we can move on to business line item 2. So that one is our approval of the letter.
So, Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the letter to the Department of Interior, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services regarding the proposed rule concerning experimental population of wolves in Colorado under 50 CFR 17.84, stating Board of County Commissioners concerns.
I second.
Thank you. A motion and a second to approve the letter to U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services. Any questions? Unfortunately, Reese is in another meeting, I believe. I don't think he's the other one that's online. Just checking. Reese, are you online? Okay, so he's attending a water meeting. So I just real quickly, this is where and it's been a little bit since I read the letter, but the issue at hand is with CPW's management of the wolves. The federal agency, Fish and Wildlife Services, is asking for input on that, how well the state of Colorado is managing that. And so we as a board have submitted those comments, or in the process of submitting those comments regarding our concerns. And one of them is that they are concept is that they are simply not following the plan that we spent in developing, and they are not following that. So we are supportive of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services having a good oversight of that instead of letting Colorado just kind of run with it. So, anything else?
A lot of people spent a lot of time, their own time, and the money they spent on this, and they just threw it out the window.
And one of those people being our very own Lenny Klingelsmith spent days and days, and I would say months on the thing. So anyway, with that, if there isn't anything else, Jennifer, I didn't want to leave you out. Anything else?
No, I do not. Thank you.
So if you would, please call the roll.
Overton,
Aye.
Scritchfield.
Aye.
O'Hairn.
Aye.
Okay, moving to business number 3.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to ratify for the ratification of a public comments for the CPW issues paper regarding the fur ban rulemaking process.
I second.
So an motion and a second to approve ratifying the public comments to CPW on the fur ban. Any comments on that one?
No, it's a good letter.
Yes, I thought Reese did a nice job on it. Jennifer, any from you?
I do not.
Okay. So there is a lot happening with fur bearer bans right now. So just so people understand, this is a process that CPW went through. They were working on, well, I guess, I'm sorry, I'm confusing them a little bit. They did a lot of work on the beaver process. Then there was the that's not what I'm calling it. The CPW committee last 2 months ago petition. So the petition process that the environmental groups, animal rights groups brought forward to the commission, they basically ignored CPW staff recommendations and moved this petition, the request from the petition to look at fur bearer banning. And so we certainly put our 2 cents worth in. We are hoping that gets slowly moved through the process before it comes back to the CPW commission. So with that, if you would call the roll, please.
Scritchfield.
Aye.
Overton. O'Hairn.
Aye.
All righty, so moving to business line item number 4, which was our new topic there.
Good, so let's do a presentation on that first.
Good idea. So go ahead, come on up, Brian. Sorry.
So, hello, in front of you, you should have the bid tabulation form.
Perfect, thank you.
I haven't, my recommendation would be, the one at the bottom, the lowest, quite a bit lower than I was expecting. Lead time isn't, too big of a deal in this situation. So, yeah, and again, this is for 2 of them.
Okay,
So double that price, and then one vehicle will go to facilities to replace a vehicle that has already been sold, basically, because it died. And then the other one will go to the landfill. Both departments will utilize the leasing system.
okay,
I did compare, so the lowest to that's the local person, and the price is greater than the 5%. 5% would be $2,539. The price difference is $6,098.
Okay. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bids on it. So good. Is that pretty standard?
No, this is the most I've ever seen, actually,
Really? Okay.
You think that's because he used, the
didn't it?
BidNet?
Possibly, but even on BidNet, this is the most I've seen.
You've used it before for
Yes.
pickups.
Okay. And so that is with Victory Motors is the one that you're recommending.
Yep.
That's Craig, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Correct.
And they're Ram trucks.
Yep.
Do we do all Ram, Ford, Chevy? We don't have a preference, I assume. Or do
No,
we?
it's always just been the lowest.
Okay.
And as fleet manager, I don't have a preference. I mean, if I had 200 of these things, I might want to keep them all the same, but there's not enough to justify that.
Okay.
So does the sheriff?
So currently the SO has the most, Rams.
All righty. Any other questions?
Recently, the sheriff requested that we don't go with Rams,
Yes, correct.
and we are okay with him using another.
Yep.
But these departments don't mind.
I mean, honestly, I have not asked the departments if they have a preference. Yeah, I have not asked. So,
And these are, you're gonna use these in the 3-year lease
yes.
situation.
Excellent. Jennifer, do you have any questions?
So sorry, I don't have all of this information in front of me, but did Northwest Auto put in for this as well?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
did we follow the procurement policy as far as the 5% goes on that?
Yeah, that was the number that I put out a little bit a minute ago. They are still more than 5% higher. So,
Okay, thank you.
Okay. If there are no other questions or comments, I would entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to purchase 2 new trucks, 2 new 3/4 ton trucks from Victory Motors for the various departments of the county.
A second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve purchasing 2 pickups from Victory Motors. Would you please call the roll, Sean?
Scritchfield?
Aye.
Overton?
Aye.
O'Hare?
Thank you, Ryan.
yep, thank you.
Thank you, Sean. All righty, moving on to the resolutions. Before we consider this resolution, Leaf, if you wouldn't mind coming up. Now I gotta find my documents. If you don't mind hitting the highlights of the changes that we had talked about following the hearing. And somewhere I had those books.
Yes, please. Do you want me to give a quick review of what got us here?
That would be awesome.
So we had a natural medicine healing center driven by Prop 122 and Senate Bill 23-290 from our friend governor of the state. And we had to address that via the land use regulation. Doesn't that locally. So we prepared the preliminary document that addressed what we thought was our needs. We ran it through the planning commission twice at both ends of the county, Beaker and Rangeley. We then ran it through the board. After we received approval, we ran it through the attorney's office as well as our staff here locally. Then we presented it to you folks last meeting, April 14th, where it was tabled. We had a few more questions that we needed to answer. So I can jump right into those questions if you would like. Did you answer? Oh, I thought you were gonna say something. We
All
have
good.
5 questions that came through. The first one regarding fire suppression system, or requiring fire suppression systems. We went ahead and put that into our revised land use, code. We called that one number 8, in addition to obviously the 9 other ones over there, but the fire suppression system, and then we addressed in that code the IFC. I'm trying to make sure I don't mispronounce these. The International Fire Code and the International Building Code both address fire suppression issues. So when one of these operations comes in, an application comes across our desk, we will then include the building department with that to assure that these codes are addressed at that time. So that, does anybody have any questions on the number 1, or do you want me just to go through? Okay. The second one was the time of operation. We do have the ability to address times of operation. I believe, at least from a staff's opinion, rather, is a better way to say that. When one of these applications comes through, we can add that as a condition of approval or in the improvement agreement that we may have with them. And the reason I feel that way is they should be location dependent. Depending on where they come in, times of operation may be very dependent on that. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Rose Puglisi, County Attorney. And I want to back up. Nick and I had some great conversations about this. You want to treat all of your businesses the same, right? And that's how the planning department and building department all handle other business operations. And they put those terms and conditions in their permits. And so keeping that consistent is really important for the courts to consider. Thank you.
Thanks.
The third one was the setback requirements of 1,500 feet from other natural medicine centers and the 1,000 feet from schools and daycare centers. This was taken directly from the Town of Meeker Code, and it was per the Planning Commission recommendation, and that's why it is in our document as 1,500 and 1,000 feet. Obviously, we can modify that if you would like. It seems to fit real well with what we do geographically and spatially in the GIS world. Number 4 was natural medicine center staffing qualifications. State of Colorado dictates their qualifications, but we did put their staffing qualifications in our new or modified land use regulation. And we are just simply pointing out that all natural medicine establishments must comply with the state code, whether that be CRS 4450-101 or DORA or the Natural Medicine Division. So that will be a direct addition to the land use regulation and then known to all applicants. And the 5th was the financial guarantee or bonds. Again, this is very location dependent, size dependent, basically application dependent. So my recommendation would be, or staff, excuse me, not mine, staff recommendation would be that we add this or address this rather as a condition of approval. And again, you can put that in your improvement agreement as you see fit, depending on the size of the building. I honestly don't know what kind of bonding we would do for that. So that would be again, it would be up to the experts at that time and perhaps even our referral agents. And obviously we would do that in the hands of our attorney. So those were the 5 questions that came up on the April 14th meeting. I hope that I've addressed those to your satisfaction. And if so, I am complete.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Questions, commissioners?
I don't have any. I'm ready to get this thing done.
Very good. Anything from you, Commissioner?
Yes. Lee, I read through that resolution and I really appreciate the wording that you put in there to address all of the concerns or questions that we had for this. So I just want to thank you for your time and extending our and indulging us in our questions. So thank you.
Yes, ma'am, you're more than welcome.
Okay. Anything else? If not,
Ready?
oh, let's see. No, we have to close. Yeah, we have to close our hearing.
No hearing.
Oh, sorry, we're doing resolution. There is no hearing. So yes, I would entertain a motion for that resolution. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I move to approve resolution 2026-16, a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Rio Blanco County, Colorado, adopting an amendment to the 2016 Land Use Regulations, LUR, Article 3, Section 3-203, Special Use Restrictions for Healing Centers.
I second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve resolution 2026-16. Any other discussion? If not, if you would please call the roll, Sean.
Scritchfield.
Aye.
Overton.
Aye.
O'Hare.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Leaf. We greatly appreciate that.
You're welcome. It will be put into the land use regulation book, added upon the signature of the resolutions. Is that correct, Rose? Okay. So we'll have that done usually by tomorrow, right?
Very good.
Is that?
Should be.
Okay.
I hate to leave you.
With so many people in the audience. So, all right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Moving on to other business. Do we have any proposed legislation? Jennifer, do you want to talk briefly about the DHS bill? Yeah, bill that was discussed recently at CCI, whatever it was
Yeah.
called.
Yes. So we had the negotiations bill, which included eligibility for SNAP and Medicaid. The state was wanting to restructure us as different regionalizations, which was also going to entail that each of those regions, one county would be a hub, and that hub would have been in charge of our budgeting. And that was a hard no from all of the county commissioners across the state that we could not have this happen. So that's why we really truly entered into a negotiations with the governor's office, the state, as well as some advocates that were part of this team and CCI. And out of that, we came up with the negotiations bill. And to further mark something which is highly unusual is Kevin Niemand, who is our lobbyist for CCI on Health and Human Services, was actually granted drafter. Before he was only granted partial drafter, and then later on was given full access drafter. And so we felt very confident as a team that we would be able to amend this bill if needed. Furthermore, and very long discussion at CCI steering committee meeting last Friday, and we landed, we really needed to support this bill to be able to not only keep him as that drafter, but also really keep our hand on this bill and making sure that it crosses the finish line with what we want it to say. And that means when I say we are talking about all the counties in Colorado and making sure we are keeping a pulse on it. So with that being said, CCI did come in through with a support. And so we will continue to work and make sure that nothing gets changed. And if it needs to be amended, that we will do so. So that is something that's still ongoing and conversations that we have ongoing.
So quick question, because there were a couple of amendments that they were talking about they wanted. Do you know if those have been made since we've had 2 days in session, at what they've done with those, Jennifer?
So there was actually more. There was several amendments, and
Right.
each of us, when I say each of us on the team, were given sections, and I know that, and I do need to follow up with Kevin and Kelly and make sure that those amendments that were recommended have been followed through. My understanding is they have, and Kevin even talked to that on Friday, that those amendments would happen. And one of them being the part about the third party negotiator. And I know that that not only is Arapahoe County Director was very passionate during negotiations and making sure that the third party negotiator is something that we collectively are choosing and not just the state choosing. So I do need to follow up with Kevin and make sure that that's still in place. It was, and I'll follow up on that piece.
Thank you. Any other legislation topics? So thankfully, the session is getting closer to the end. I was going to say winding down, but I don't think we can say that if we were heavily involved. So it's getting closer to the end is how I will say. So, okay, sounds good. We will move on to other business number 2. Do we have anybody from Road and Bridge? Does not look like it. For an update, any other staff update questions? While we're kind of waiting, Vicki, do you have anything for us that you would like to bring up real quick? Or slowly, I don't care whichever way you want to do it.
No, I don't think so. Just the fact that we're getting reviews started.
Okay.
Those need to be done by June 30th.
Okay.
I know we've got 2 months, but they take a while.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So, okay. So we will move on then to commissioner updates. Doug, do you want to go ahead and get started? Do you have anything?
Not very much.
It's been a week.
Since so we had a presentation from the FFA high school students. They were practicing a debate about the fire and how it affected agriculture and whether the money is better spent before the fire in prevention or saving the money to use it for recovery after the fire. It was a good discussion. It was very obvious that they did some research and it was interesting to me. They were playing roles because one of the young ladies didn't believe in what she was saying.
It's hard.
I found out later.
That's hard.
But that's really hard. But they did a really good job, and I really appreciate their effort, and I wish them well at the competition that they're headed to. Then we had administrator meeting, and AGNC legislation calls, where I think we have one more left. And then hopefully we're through with that for a while, or get those guys out of there and they quit messing with stuff. Then yesterday we had Wolf Coalition meeting. And that brings us to today.
All right. Thank you, sir. Commissioner O'Haren?
As I just talked about with legislation, still is attending meetings with the negotiation team. We also had our last steering committee meeting as we are wrapping up legislation. So we had our last meeting last Friday. And then I attended the Works Allocation Committee meeting, which is for eligibility and human services world, where we determine funding and formulas for the TANF program. And so we did elect to keep the formula the same until we find out more as far as TANF reserves being considered with the SNAP program at the federal level. So we did keep the funding formula the same. I have been meeting with the Northwest directors probably every 2 to 3 weeks. And that is just to keep a pulse on their thoughts as we were entering into these negotiations and making sure that Western Slope directors were being heard. So I attended a meeting with them. And my last thing is I did reach out to Gregory with National Center for Public Lands in doing a SRS versus 1908 training. And he then reached out, once I sent him that email, he did reach out to Kelly Flanagan, the executive director for CCI, because I wasn't the only county commissioner asking that question in Colorado. And so he is going to set up a training for all of us. And Kelly and him are working together to get that coordinated. She told me it'd probably be in June sometime, but she will get us an exact date for us to attend that. And Gregory will be giving us that training. So that wraps up my week.
Thank you very much. So let's see, a couple of things. So I did meet with the Yellow Jacket Water Conservancy District Attorney and Colorado River District funding folks to talk about the possibility of them helping to fund the study to determine if the dam will if it will work to expand Lake Avery. And so they are interested. We do need to get a grant. We being Yellow Jacket and or us, get an application in by the 15th of May. We do have a little wiggle room there, but not much, but they do sound like they would definitely entertain it. Their meeting, if it's in by then, they will consider it in their July meeting. So that's a pretty fast turnaround. I've spent a lot of time with Rose and Vicky and others working to streamline our agenda and those processes. Looking forward to getting our policy in place that kind of solidifies that. Also did spend quite a bit of time working with Vicky and doing her review, and I attended AG&C's legislative meeting, the Wolf Coalition, and the CCI meeting on Friday, a portion of that. And I would just end again with a reminder, people, that tomorrow is CPW Commission meeting in Grand Junction, tomorrow and Thursday. Thursday about 10:30 is the opportunity for public comment. I plan to go both days, be there. The good news is we will be short 2 commissioners on that commission this round, since they withdrew their nominations. So it'll be interesting to see how that moves. And it sounds like they're confident they will have a quorum, but the votes that they need for what and where is going to be interesting, because some are not going to be there in person. And what they can do on proxies, I thought that was very interesting. They are talking about those who can't be there are planning to vote via proxy. We'll see how that goes. So that is all that I have for update. So we do not need I don't believe we need an executive session under 4 nor 5. And we posted our meeting for the legal questions for water augmentation till 3 o'clock. It is now exactly 2 o'clock. So I would like to recess this meeting. I guess we need to until 3 o'clock. Okay. So, in this case, because we are going to be so long, I would like to have a motion to recess for an hour. Please.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we recess this commissioners meeting until 3 o'clock this afternoon.
I second.
Thank you. A motion and a second to recess the current board meeting until 3 o'clock. Could I have roll call, please?
Scritchfield.
Aye.
Overton.
Aye.
O'Hare.
Aye.
Okay. Jennifer, are you going to be able to join us back at that time?
Yes, I will be there.
Okay. Do you want to just call in on the executive meeting so you don't have to jump on and off?
If I could, that would be great, but I don't have a link, so somebody will have to send me the link. Probably do it meeting happening now. Is that what somebody will do?
I can forward that to you, or Vicky can. I didn't think about you not being here, so I will get that to you. One of us will get it to you.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And then when you
So this week, alrighty, so returning to our meeting, I would entertain a motion to come back into this session.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we reopen the county commissioners meeting back into session.
And I will second that. And I would ask for a roll call, please.
Overton.
Aye.
Scritchfield.
Alrighty, now I would consider entertain a motion for line item other business 6.
Read that.
Mhm.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Good. Madam Chair, I make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to CRS 24-6-4024B for the purpose of receiving legal advice for specific legal questions regarding water augmentation.
And I will second that. And if you will do roll call, please.
Overton.
Aye.
Scritchfield.
So it is May 5th, 2026, and it is 3:02. For the record, my name is Callie Scritchfield. I am the presiding officer as required by open meetings law. This executive session is being electronically recorded. Also present at this executive session are the following persons, which will be myself, Callie Scritchfield, Commissioner Overton, Administrator Vicki Edwards, Attorney Rose Puglisi, and Attorney Sarah Dunn, as well as Commissioner O'Haran. I caution each participant to confine all discussion to the stated purpose of the executive session and that no formal action may occur in the executive session. If at any point in the executive session, any participant believes that the discussion is going outside of the proper scope of the executive session, please interrupt the discussion and make an objection. This is an executive session for CRS 24-6-4024B for the water augmentation discussion.
This is Rose Puglisi, County Attorney. Because this executive session involves legal advice, I'm advising the board that no recording be kept and the recorder be turned off.
Thank you very much. Oh, too late, 'cause I guess. Okay. Just a quick note, the board will come back to adjourn the general meeting after the executive session, but no other business will be taken care of.
So no live stream.
So, I'm sorry.
So no live stream.
Oh, no live stream from this point forward. Thanks.
Quick look side. And then you guys will let me know when you're out so that you can
Yes.
come back in to
Yes.
exit out that, right?
Yep, because we have to have it on
Perfect.
yours.
Yep.
Okay. Now, if I can take all the right papers with me,
Everything that you need.
probably not.